Hello, everybody. How you doing? What's going on? Welcome to episode 3. Happy Saturday. I have the pleasure of being joined by. Look, it's Ultra.
Hi.
Look, it's Ultra. It's Ultrasaurus. This wonderful human being over here. This simulator extraordinaire, dinosaur expert human being. Hi. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
Of course. How's everything going?
It's going good. Can't complain. Yourself?
Good. I didn't flip any trucks getting here, so I'm fine. How about you?
Uh, Crashed some planes last night, I think. What did we do? Yeah, that's what we did.
You crashed planes last night.
We did, yes.
So you've moved on from crashing trucks, to
No,
crashing
that's
planes.
still in the repertoire, but now we just like generically crash vehicles overall now.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Gotcha. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It's great to have Ultrasaurus here. Thank you again for being here. And, yeah. So, we've got a lot to talk about. But first, just because we've recently met. We've only known each other for, I don't know, like 2 months, 3 months. I feel like I've known you for a lot longer with the amount of things we have in common. But, it just seems that way. You know when you just click with somebody? Ultrasaurus is that kind of person. You just kind of hit it off. It's great. She's a lot of fun.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. So, how did you start streaming? Because I don't even know that.
It's a really interesting story. So I was never really into Twitch. I never even watched Twitch, but Duncan would watch Twitch, and I would kind of take a look at who he was watching, and I noticed there weren't a lot of women that were streaming the games that he was into. And then I started perusing Twitch, and I kind of realized that there wasn't really anyone on Twitch that I, just from the quick search I did, really enjoyed watching. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could provide content that a lot of people would appreciate, and I want to be able to provide the type of content that I would enjoy myself. And so I just did it for fun for quite a while. I'm going into, I think, 3.5 years of streaming now. But I had zero expectations. Just was I'm like, you know what? If I'm gaming, I'll turn the camera on and we'll see what happens. And yeah, if you told me 3.5 years ago that we'd be partnered with Twitch, I would tell you to get out of here.
3.5 years. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And have you done simulation games most of that time?
Absolutely not. No.
I didn't think so.
So initially, I actually used to lead a guild in World of Warcraft, and I was a raid leader. And that was stressful and was probably the reason why I have a lot of gray hair. So I don't touch that game anymore. But I went on from... Yeah. I went on from World of Warcraft to... I started playing dinosaur survival games because I love dinosaurs. And we did that for a while, but the game is very frustrating because a lot of the viewership from the game was not actually based on you as a streamer, but rather on the success of the game itself. So kind of coasted with that for a while, and it got to the point where the state of the game was so frustrating with the lack of updates that I'm like, you know, let's play other things. And I've actually always played simulation games. I just never streamed them. And the reasoning for that is I just didn't think anyone wanted to watch me play simulation games. I just didn't think it interested people. But I'm like, you know what? Let's try it out. Let's see what happened. And it's probably the best possible thing that could have happened for my Twitch channel.
Yeah, I think you're the... I've never played trucking sims before. And then you show up out of the blue, and you're just like, yeah, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mind-boggling that people actually do want to watch simulation games, but it's a lot of fun. Not just for us as streamers, but for the viewer too, and I'm still stunned to this day.
Absolutely. I think there's definitely... The more I've played and streamed these simulation games, the more I kind of understand the appeal to watching these games, and I myself quite enjoy watching streamers like you, Thunder, play SnowRunner as well, because it's just it's a nice, easygoing, chill experience. It's not a lot of yelling or screaming. It's just like vibing while we drive trucks.
True. until you have a giant airplane wing and you flip it over the side of a mountain when you've been trying to
Yes.
truck it along for 6 hours. Then there will be a reason to scream.
Yes.
Hasn't happened yet. But you're also playing. You play a lot of these games on like the hardest mode too, because you were telling me that in SnowRunner specifically, you're doing a hard mode playthrough. I won't even touch that.
Honestly, I think so. Again, I was playing a lot of these simulation games before I started streaming them. So I was playing Spin Tires was like the first game in the series. I was already playing that on the hardest difficulty. So that was like a pretty quick and easy transition for me for SnowRunner. But in general, I like being challenged. I like playing games that are a real kick in the nuts. So I will play it on the hardest difficulty. Sometimes I'll skip tutorials just because that's just the way we do things sometimes.
Okay, fire, just right into the fire. I like it.
Yeah.
You're brave. You're a brave soul. That's that's a scary thing, but I know how you feel. I can relate to that. Which is There's the reason why I wanted to do it on normal mode, is because I needed a break from all the craziness.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
fair. That's so
yeah,
fair.
that's really great. So you've played a lot of SnowRunner. You've been playing American Truck Simulator a little bit recently, and you're also playing.
Mhm.
Is it Pulsar? Or
I
that's
tried that out the other night. Yeah, that was with a group of friends. It was definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone. But it was a very interesting game. Very like Star Trek-esque game that I would like to look into more in the future. But yeah, definitely not something I feel as easy to get into as the trucking sims.
that's fair. So would you say that trucking sims are probably your favorite of the sims that you've played so far?
I would say so, yes. But DCS, the Digital Combat Simulator flight game, is definitely growing on me for sure. But yeah, just I guess more games that have to do with things that you can tangibly see and also maybe even be in that vehicle yourself on Earth. I guess it's harder for me to relate to Pulsar just because like I don't think I'll ever be on a spaceship and I don't think I'll ever really see one up close. Whereas these other things like trucks and fighter jets and everything else, like these are much more tangible concepts to me.
Sure. Just like taking a broom in a car for gas station simulator and flipping it upside down. That kind of tangible situation. That
Yeah, totally realistic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's the one time I was looking in your stream. I was mesmerized by that. That was the thing. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
actually a very legitimate strategy in this game too. If you have a traffic jam, you just grab that broom and you
keep the cars
shoot
away.
the cars away. Yeah.
Wish that would have worked when I was living in New York. That would have been great. Saved me a lot of headaches.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah. So another thing, obviously, everybody has like a beginning in gaming. What games did you play when you were growing up? Was there anything that you really got into, or you didn't find gaming till later?
So I was very fortunate. The job that my dad had, he was actually very involved with computers and software design and programming. So we always had access to computers. And probably there were two games that I can remember that were my first games. One was the original Age of Empires. When I was 3 years old, I was playing that.
Okay.
And the other game is I don't know if you know this game. It's a really weird niche game, but it was like on a floppy disk. And there's like two monkeys on either side of like a city setting, and you have to type in like a velocity and angle, and you throw bananas at each other and try to kill the other monkey on the other side. And it'll like if you hit a building, it does a little like and destroys the building too. Anyways, it's like super retro, but yeah, that game and Age of Empires.
I'm intrigued about this monkey game because I played a game that was also. It was called Freaky Funky Fuzzballs. It was also on a floppy disk. You play against the computer and you have to get keys to go to the next level and
Yeah.
magic wands and stuff like that. The monkey and the velocity with the bananas. Now, did the monkey just like explode like when it got hit once, or did it
I
have?
think so, yeah. So I mean the part of like what's challenging about the game is like you have these very tall like skyscrapers, right, that are in the way of like the opposing monkey. So like it's not easy to hit the other person. But yeah, like I was actually stunned when my dad was explaining this game to me. I'm like, I was 3 years old and I understood how to type in velocity and angle of attack into this game. And he's like, yeah, you did. You beat me a few times. And I was just like, huh.
That's why you grew up to be a professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So so the skills you've learned from the monkey game, you've translated to SnowRunner, where you could somehow launch vehicles in ways that
Yes,
I
it's
never thought
very
it was
analytical.
possible. Extremely.
Yes,
And you're a
as
very
a
analytical person. You and I are similar that way. I've
absolutely.
just seen you do things with trucks and vehicles that I didn't think were humanly possible. But you've managed to pull it off.
There's a way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. No, you've helped solidify my love for Sims even more since we've met.
Makes
So
me so happy.
yeah, I'd say, well, what would Ultra have done here? And let me do the opposite, so I don't flip the truck. That's not true at all. I've flipped the truck quite a bit.
You do a pretty good job at SnowRunner, though. I remember hopping in and you were talking about how this is your first time playing the game, and yeah, I was thoroughly impressed because you play SnowRunner quite well for someone new to the series, like
Hacks.
surprisingly well.
It's I put the cheat code in.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, it's the Game Shark. The Game Shark. Just kind of put it in
Game Shark.
the back of
Oh,
your
God.
your computer, and that's the end of it. So you played Age of Empires as well. So you like real time strategy games, or
That's the funny thing. I don't.
you don't? Okay, so you
I
liked that game back in the day.
I primarily like the Age of Empires series, except for Age of Empires 3. Don't talk to me about that game.
I never wanted to touch it.
Um,
Why?
they completely changed the way Age of Empires is played, and it's a very controversial addition to the series.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna get into
That's all. I was just curious.
But
Just, I thought about it. Okay.
yeah, no, I think like my love for Age of Empire games like is primarily like a nostalgic one. Um, for the most part, when I game, I don't like using my brain juice. When I do, I like sitting back and relaxing, and I think that's why sim games are so nice. You don't really have to think a whole lot about what you're doing. So playing games like Age of Empires, or I've never played StarCraft, but games of the like, it's hard for me to get into them unless there's some nostalgia tied into it, just because I feel very taxed and over analytical and trying to min max, and it's like I'm not actually enjoying myself doing this.
Yeah, I can understand. I can. That's why I can kind of understand you getting away from World of Warcraft, because that's basically when you and I go into something, we go in all in. We're just all in.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So min maxing, getting the right gear. Is this the best thing for us? No, but
Yeah.
yeah, there needs to be a balance, and I agree with you about the sim games though, because you can just kind of turn your brain off. It's driving.
Exactly.
You got to do.
So you can do like a long 8-10 hour shift at work and come home and
Right.
relax and turn your brain off, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Turning your brain off is nice. It is a good thing. Okay, well, that's good. Now, one thing I wanted to make sure that we talked about, because for those ever here for the intro, Pippa. That's the name of.
God.
Okay. Now, you have a celebrity that lives with you. One that does not enjoy when you play the harmonica, apparently. Which
No, she hates it.
Ultra has great talent with the harmonica. We'll get to that. But Pippa is it's just a mesmerizing creature. During the intro, what was the name of that?
Oh, the hammock.
The hammock. Just
Yeah.
chilling in the hammock.
Mm-hmm.
So
She's fun. She keeps us on our toes. She's if I were to describe Pippa in as few words as possible, it would be question authority is her entire personality.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think most cats
Mm-hmm.
are like that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Pippa specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So does Pippa always do that with a harmonica, or just specific songs?
I think specific songs bother her more. I'm assuming it's like the pitch that the harmonica creates that is what really bothers her. Because I personally think I play the harmonica quite well. Thank you very much. But yeah, the pitch in it just she's like, nope, I don't like that, and I'm gonna let you know that I don't like that, and I'm gonna make you stop, please and thank you.
She's polite about it.
Kind of. I mean, the biting is like very social bite me. And the biting is very, like, kinda gentle at first, and then it, like, gets a little bit more feverish the longer I continue and don't stop. Oh. Yeah, she's peachy.
It's basically play at your own risk kind of thing.
Yes, pretty much. I actually recently we also rented a flute and the violin, and those actually don't seem to bother her too much, but the guitar bothers her as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're quite musical then.
Yeah, I grew up playing a bunch of instruments, and it's been a really long time. I've just kind of been wanting to get back into it, but yeah, I played the piano, saxophone, drums. Feel like there's one or two more in there somewhere, but yeah, very musically inclined.
This is why I love this stuff. I've been playing the drums since I was like in the 4th grade. So
Drums are fun.
they are fun. I can't play now because it would make too much noise and my neighbors would be very angry.
You could get an electric drum
I
set.
want to, but I have to save up for it, and that's going to take some time. Those things are expensive. They're very expensive.
They are for the good quality ones for sure.
Like really good one, 3,500. Ultra can sing too. You can sing too.
Nope,
You can't
absolutely
sing.
not.
You
No,
cannot sing.
that is BS.
That's okay. Well, there you go. Well, we've confirmed it. You've heard it here first. Well, not really first, probably multiple times. So, is there any particular instrument that you like the most?
I have a yes and no. I have a love-hate relationship with the piano.
Okay, same.
I love playing it, but because it's been so long since I took lessons, it's kind of hard for my brain to get wrapped around playing it all over again. And my very small apartment cannot house a piano, so would really love to relearn how to play it, but don't really have the space or the ability anymore to do so.
That's fair. I I started to teach myself how to play years ago. I picked up a Yamaha P something or another. It's got weighted keys and everything. It's great. Doesn't take up a
Hmm.
lot of room.
Huh.
But I tried to teach myself, and I put it away, and I just sit on it. Something sounds good, I just play it and whatnot. But yeah, I
Yeah.
can kind of relate to the whole space thing. I'd love to have an electric drum set, but I don't have the room.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
that. I feel that.
yeah, that's yeah. Maybe one day. One day.
Yep.
So and I'm curious again with the music. So their harmonica, you've been playing. I don't know anybody that plays their harmonica. How long have you been playing their harmonica?
Since I think elementary school, it was like one of those things the music teacher had us doing, so everybody had to buy a harmonica. And yeah, so um that's I mean, I'm not sure if I would have ever gotten into the harmonica if it wasn't for that music teacher that forced us all to purchase one and play them. Yeah, so it's been quite a while since I've had the harmonica. It's a pretty easy instrument to play, to be quite honest. Basically, like each note, each hole, you either blow in or you suck in to get different notes. And for pretty basic songs, it's honestly very easy and inviting to get
Hmm,
into.
interesting.
Hmm.
We had to purchase recorders when I was in school.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, I think I would have rather had a harmonica because then I could be as cool as Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants. That is my favorite episode of all time. Band Geeks. It's the best. How's that harmonica solo
Honestly,
coming?
the pre-recorder and the recorder, it's like one of those instruments. People would absolutely hate it, but as soon as someone starts playing it, I can instantly feel my blood pressure rising. I cannot stand the sound of those instruments anymore.
I'll put it away then. I brought it out. I'm just kidding. It's in storage. I wouldn't dare bring that on the show.
Ah.
I don't mind embarrassing myself, but not that much. Takes it to a whole different level. That's
I
fascinating.
Speaking of singing,
Yeah.
yeah, I so let me put my singing voice into layman's terms here.
Mhm.
It's okay enough that it's not bad, but it's not good enough that it's not good. So it's not bad enough to be funny as a meme, and it's just like that awkward range where it's like, oh, okay. But I actually had it as a redemption on stream for we were doing a charity stream, and I don't think I've ever actually procrastinated doing something on stream for as long as I did. And Dunk was behind me listening to the stream, and he kept hearing me like push it back, push it back, push it back, and I kept like procrastinating further and further. And he's like, "Wow, she's super uncomfortable. Like she is so incredibly embarrassed and uncomfortable because it's not often I don't just dive into something." Yeah, singing voice. It's. I just wish it was worse or better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. That happy medium's kind of tough because at least if you were bad, you can own it. That I'm just terrible.
Exactly.
But if it's really good, you can say I own it. I'm really good. You know. But in the
Yeah.
middle, you're just like,
Oh.
I can sing, but Pippa scratching my face or gnawing my eyes out. Don't want that. That's yeah. I can completely understand that.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Well, my friends, so we're about, believe it or not, we're already almost about halfway through the show. It just goes by really quick. And one of the things that it comes to Sip, this is one of the things that Ultra chose to do tonight, because we have a couple of mini games we play halfway through the show. We're going to be playing a game called Save or Delete. Now, this game in particular is a lot of fun because it's essentially, I don't know how else to put it, video game character Tinder. I don't know. I mean, it's, you're not really dating the characters or anything like that, but you're swiping left and right. So Ultra's gonna see a set of random characters. Nobody ever gets the same. There's 90 different characters, and Ultra's gonna have 2 minutes to swipe left or right, or to hit the arrow keys left or right, or to use A or D, whatever makes her happy. And she'll have 2 minutes to swipe left or right on as many as she can. She can talk us through it. We'll talk about it after the fact. There is an immense amount of pressure here. You can get this wrong. I'm just absolutely joking.
I feel like I'm gonna polarize chat.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm glad your concern's on chat and not me. I'll be fine. Don't worry about my feelings at all. But yeah, that sounds great. Do you have any questions before we get started? Are you good?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, good. I thought so. Chat. Here we go. Good luck to you.
I'm so nervous.
I think you'll be fine.
Okay. No. I don't know who that is. Oh god, I'm gonna be upsetting people. Yes, Zelda. Nyx? No. Vault Boy.
I don't know why the white boxes are like that. That's hilarious.
Hands, no. Ow, I don't like that graphic. That's so weird. Oh, Handsome Jack. Hell yes. Oh my goodness. Lara Croft, absolutely. Venom, he's pretty ripped, so I'll give him that. Kratos, no. Alloy? I'm gonna say no just because I don't really know her too well. Kazooie, yes. Isabelle, she can go to hell. Hanzo, yes. Nope.
Oh, you are trying to get. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because Peach is a tease, yes.
Wow.
Codsworth, yes. Cindy Shepherd, no. Arbiter, yeah. No. Jade, is she from like?
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Okay. Kirby, hell yeah. Triss, no. I feel like a lot of my no's are just like I don't like them or I don't know them. Star Fox, yes. Oh, she looks familiar. I don't know what she's from though. Bayonet. Oh my god. Thick. Let's go. Barrett? No.
10 seconds to go.
No. Cortana, absolutely. Prima, no. No, let's see if we can get one more. Yes! Man, hell yes.
You know what? Gotta give you a lot of credit because you went through more characters than anybody before you. You've easily set a new record for what it's worth.
I know what I like and I know what I don't like. So
you are, you know, I'm not really surprised because you're very decisive. You know what you need. You're a planner, and I'm impressed. So I'm just gonna call you out on it. What, my boy Cal Kestis? Why?
what is he even from? I don't even know.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Fallen Order. That's my game.
Oh, shoot.
You're the second.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to give you a hard time.
I
You're very
technically
decisive.
have played Fallen Order, I think, for an hour, and then I decided it wasn't my game.
That's
And
okay.
I think I promptly went back to World of Warcraft.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
well, I said wow, but I really meant wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've made some interesting. So regular Pac-Man's fine, but Miss
Yeah.
Pac-Man not so much.
No, I mean, besides the graphic weirdly over-sexualizing a round shape,
Yes.
um, I never actually really played games with Mrs. Pac-Man, so
Yeah, that's
ooh,
fair.
but if you had shown Mrs. Pac-Man the way they drew her from Futurama, I would have said like
Oh yeah. Okay.
waka waka waka.
Whack. That was a very good. That was a good impression. I didn't realize you were an impressionist.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. So here's the big question: out of everybody that you saved,
Yes.
now you can only choose one. Everybody else is vanishes.
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna just choose this based on the character themselves.
Sure.
Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack is my all-time favorite character, favorite villain. I have never felt so many different emotions while playing a video game about like a set character. I don't know him from the pre-sequel. I only know him from Borderlands 2, but like just amazing character development. So, and he's handsome.
Fair. Okay. I enjoyed Borderlands 2. That was a great game.
That was so good.
Um,
I actually have a Butt Stallion t-shirt too.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, you did well. You just decisive, quick. That was impressive. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
You made a good choice because I think I was kind of nervous to take you on in Pong. I think you would have destroyed me. I can hold
Maybe,
my
maybe
honor.
not.
I can hold my honor. It's fine. So one of the I'm not even going to say unusual because to me it's something that I've always loved since I was a kid, and as soon as I saw your name pop up into chat, I was like, please tell me she loves dinosaurs as much as I do, if not more, and it's way more. So please tell me how you got into dinosaurs and why you love them so much.
Wow. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Disney's the very first Fantasia they did from the oh dear, it's from the 40s or 50s. But there's actually a big scene done to Rite of Spring, and it's like a 22-minute long song, and it shows like the evolution of Earth and the planet and life, and then it shows you the rise and fall of dinosaurs. And that was like my favorite thing ever watching as a kid, just looking at these strange creatures that we no longer have roam along and do their thing. And then at the end of the scene, it's actually pretty sad. They all slowly die, and it's very dramatic, and then there's no more dinosaurs, and it just always left me with that wondering, like, what happened to these things? Why don't we have them anymore? And yeah, ever since then, I was just super obsessed with dinosaurs. I had toy dinosaurs growing up. I had dinosaur games. I watched dinosaur movies. I was super into dinosaur documentaries. BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs, which I just bought on DVD, the remastered edition, by the way, is
I
like
haven't
one of
seen
my
that yet.
all-time oh god, it's so good. It's one of my all-time favorite series. But just the mystique of these like amazing huge creatures. I love them so much. I am not as in tune with the science as I used to be, I guess because I feel like TV doesn't really make dinosaur documentaries anymore, except for the one coming out. Did you hear about that?
No, tell me.
It's oh shoot, but hold on, I gotta find the name here
Yeah,
real quick.
this is
It's
important.
David Attenborough. He does the voicing for it. Um, but it's called Prehistoric Planet. So I guess like Animal
Okay.
Planet or Blue Planet. He's doing a Prehistoric Planet, and it comes out on May 27th, and I'm so
Oh,
stoked
that's
for it.
soon. That's really soon.
It's very soon, and it is the closest thing to the Walking with Dinosaurs series that I've ever seen since. But yeah, no, I love dinosaurs. I go to museums. They actually had like a really cool exhibit locally. God, how many years ago was that now? 5, 6 years ago? And when I turned the corner to see all the dinosaurs and the skeletons, I actually started crying. I was like so overwhelmed, and I loved it so much. So, anyways, I'm a dinosaur nerd. I love dinosaurs. And I'm super happy to talk to anybody about dinosaurs if they want to have their ears talked off.
Yeah, I do. That's why I'm here. And I think I remember asking you this. I think I think it was when I stopped into your stream because I was curious what your favorite dinosaurs are. And I know
Mm.
it's not going to be a very simple question because I'm sure there are a few, but
Yeah, so I think right now my favorite is still the Amargasaurus. The Amargasaurus is a sauropod. Um, it's either late Jurassic or early Cretaceous. But it's essentially a sauropod with dual fins running down from its neck down all the way down its back. And it's like super weird and bizarre looking. That's super appealing to me. I also really like Hadrosaurs, which were the duck-billed dinosaurs. Parasaurolophus is super cool. Coronosaurus, um, Shatungosaurus. I'm kind of more a herbivore girl right now, but that tends to change.
it changes.
Yeah.
Any reason why it changes? Just depends on.
No, it's just whatever appeals to me at the time. I think for the longest time I was super into I really liked so the primary name for this dinosaur is Cryolophosaurus. It's called
Bless
the
you.
ice crested lizard, which was a carnivore. And I think they found it like pretty high up close to the Arctic, which is why it got that name. But its common name is Elvisaurus because its crest looks like Elvis's hairdo, which is pretty cool. Uh,
Original.
yeah, yeah.
To me, I consider Ultrasaurus to be like a walking Pokedex of dinosaurs. It's very impressive.
Ah,
Just names these things off like it's nothing, where I'd probably stumble in a sentence if I had to pronounce one of them outside of T-Rex or a
I
Brontosaurus.
mean, it really helps to like understand the Greek words though. Like once you kind of understand what those mean and how they translate to English, it's actually really easy to remember a lot of dinosaur names. So Dilophosaurus, di to lopho, reference to the crest, and saurus is terrible lizard, right? No, lizard means lizard.
I don't think they're
but like,
terrible at all.
but like, yeah. But when you like start to kind of remember, like, oh, this word means this, you can kind of, even if you don't quite remember the name, you can kind of piece it together by knowing what the dinosaur visually looks like.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So do you have a favorite dinosaur movie that you've watched 1,000 times?
Um, I can no longer watch The Land Before Time because I feel like there's an exponential graph where the older you get, the sadder that movie gets. So I don't watch that anymore. But dinosaur movie, I would have to say it's a weird tie between clearly Jurassic Park
Sure.
is a great movie, but also Disney's Dinosaur is a really good movie
I haven't
as
seen that in a
well.
long time.
It's fun. It's a real trip.
That's a classic at this point.
It's very much a classic, and it's really interesting. Like, so they have the two antagonists in Disney's Dinosaurs. They're Carnotauruses. Carnotauruses were um, carnivores that kind of looked like bulls almost. They had like two big horns on their heads and like tiny little nubbin arms. Uh,
That was a good
and
reenactment. It's really
yeah,
good.
so they wanted to use a dinosaur that wasn't a T-Rex as the antagonist, but they chose the Carnotaurus, which is really weird because the Carnotaurus wasn't actually a very large carnivore. It was kind of medium sized, and so for the movie they like pumped them up to T-Rex size. They're like, "Oh yeah, there you go.
That's a Disney for you.
That's Disney for you."
That's funny. So movies, got it. Now games. Now there was a specific game that you mentioned earlier in the show that you played. Um, or maybe not. No, yeah, there was a dinosaur game that you played a lot. That
Yes.
yes,
That would be the Isle.
right. That's the one it was. Okay, we talked
Mhm.
about it briefly. It wasn't at the beginning of this
Mhm.
show, but we talked about it briefly. That's a game that you played. Um, thank you so very much for those gifted subs. Completely unnecessary. I appreciate it. Um. So the Isle. Were there any other just dinosaur games that you've played that you've
Oh,
enjoyed?
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured there was.
There's quite a few actually. I mean, there's if you're looking at park builders, there's Jurassic World Evolution,
Yeah.
Jurassic World Evolution 2. If you've ever played any of the older Zoo Tycoon series, they also have a lot of dinosaur expansions for them too. And in terms of like dinosaur simulation games, there's three games that are kind of competing with each other, but there's The Isle, there's Path of Titans, and there's Beasts of Bermuda. All of them have very different graphical um, choices, have different gameplays and styles. I would say right now The Isle is doing the best out of them all, but all of them are, to be quite honest, I feel like all of them are very much lacking updates right now, so it's kind of hard to get into those games unless it's like you're new and everything's brand new and it's great. But if you're someone like me who's been a part of the games for a few years now, you're like, well, kind of still the same.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any of those games besides The Isle because we spoke about that like a month or so
You'll have
ago.
to play the Isle with me
I
sometime.
would love to. That'd be great. That would be a great experience. I'll try not to get
Yeah.
chewed
And
apart.
speaking of hard mode,
Oh
my
boy.
playstyle was also very much hard mode in the Isle. Um,
Okay.
I would choose to play as the Dilophosaurus, which is a smaller dinosaur in the game compared to the T-Rex or the Giganotosaurus. And this dinosaur has a high amount of bleed damage. So eventually, if you're smart, you can bleed someone out. But it's a very small dinosaur, so if you take one bite from pretty much any of the dinosaurs, you're dead. You're gone. That's it. Game over. Your dinner. So it was like super fun playing with the Dilophosaurus because it was like very high risk but very high reward, and I actually got pretty gosh darn good at playing with it. Like I could solo a T-Rex and it would upset a lot of people because you're not really supposed to be able to do that. But yeah, hard mode has been pretty much like how I conduct my life and how I play games.
That's impressive. I mean, when I hear bleed damage, I usually think of like the Soulsborne series, like Elden Ring. I don't even know the concept of the Isle at all. I mean, is it? I'm assuming it's a
Oh.
multiplayer.
Yeah, so you choose a dinosaur. There's a bunch of different dinosaurs you can choose from.
Mhm.
You grow. Depending on the size of your dinosaur, it takes different growth hours, and this is real time. So a Gallimimus, which is like the ostrich-looking herbivore, I believe the Gallimimus takes an hour and a half to grow, real time. You can't speed that up. T-Rex, I think the growth time is 6.5 hours or so. And if you die, that's it. Go grow again. Go have fun. It's very punishing. You need to survive and be smart about what you're doing, and as you grow, you get better stats, and you kind of learn the strengths and weaknesses of the different dinosaurs. Like, okay, am I faster than them? Okay, if I sprint, am I faster than them? What's the turning radius? Do they do a frontal attack, a tail attack, or whatever, what have you? It's a game that it's easy for people to join in and play, but to really excel, there's a very steep learning curve.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
like the in-game, like real time kind of aspect to it.
Oh, it's punishing. It's great, especially when you're almost grown. You're like, yes, I have like 20 more minutes, and then something comes and kills you, and you're like, well, that's enough computer time for today.
Keyboards end up needing replacement after
Yeah, I'm just
that.
gonna walk away from this. That's too much loss for me.
I'll have to mark that down as in my backlog.
Yeah, yeah, for
That'd be a
sure.
lot of fun to play with you. And SnowRunner
Absolutely.
too, because we talked about, well, or eventually, we
Yeah,
talked
whenever
about.
you wanna hop into so the way SnowRunner works is even if you like hopped into my session,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if you're on normal or not, it'll still just transfer you over. You just have to play by my game rules. But then like when the game is done, you get all your trucks back and like it doesn't change your uh game or campaign.
That sounds like fun.
Mhm.
I'll have to do that with you. But you can learn from a real expert. If I remember correctly, you were on like the last map in your hard mode playthrough or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
am. We're about I think 80% finished it. I haven't really been focusing on it too hard, just because SnowRunner is one of those games where you definitely do have to take breaks. You do get SnowRunner burnout, and I never want SnowRunner to be a chore, right?
Sure.
Um, but yeah, it's really funny, like just playing the game and like having a good understanding of the vehicles and knowing, okay, can I successfully throw myself off this cliff and live? And it's like you get to know the trucks enough in the game that you're like, you know what, this is still a pretty low percentage move, but I think I can pull it off.
And you do pull it off. There's a clip that was shown to me by one of your fantastic viewers in your community of you launching yourself off. I don't know if it was in Alaska. There's a very tall mountain in the last map. I think that's where you were, and you just launched yourself off it. When me, I just recovered, but you have a rule against that. I just decided to recover, and you just throw yourself off it and survive, landing on all four wheels as if it was nothing.
The thing is, too, so sometimes we do that just for fun, to push the limits and see what can we get away with today. But in that case, I had a trailer, and I'm like, you know what? Whether I live or die at the bottom of this, getting the trailer down the mountain this way is a heckin' lot faster than taking it all the way back down the long way. So I'm like, I don't even care if we land this or not. Yeah,
And since the trailers can't get damaged, it doesn't really matter. So
exactly.
there you go. That's smart thinking. That's smart thinking. Now, one of the other things I wanted to ask you, as we get back to Twitch streaming as a whole, is there anything that you've enjoyed the most about streaming over the last 3.5 years that's really kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, honestly, my favorite thing is building the community that we have. I couldn't have asked for a better community, and again, with me starting streaming with my goals, I wanted to find like-minded people. I wanted to find people that have similar likes and interests and play styles and personalities. And we're all different, but we're all very easygoing, chill people. There's so many thoughtful individuals, and I honestly like that is my favorite part about streaming is just like building the community that we have. I am so incredibly proud of it. And it has been the most valuable thing that we've had over the course of my streaming. Don't want to bring down the show or anything, but I've had like a good number of relatives and people in my life pass away over the past 3 years. Like way too many people passing away on me, and like the community actually helped me out so much and was my anchor and helped me get through that. And they were just over the top amazing with the support and the kindness that I honestly think they were so instrumental in helping me out through those hard times too.
Yeah, that's understandable. Hard to hear about that. But yeah, the Twitch chat is it's something that cannot be explained unless you've experienced it for yourself. Good luck going to somebody who's on the outside saying, "Oh yeah, this is Twitch." They're gonna look at you like you have 5 heads. So, and I've had those conversations. My parents being 2 of them. So
Yeah, no, I don't think my parents quite understand Twitch at all too. They know I do it, but they're just like, "Yeah, you do your internet thing."
yeah, that's basically it. Except when you find out you're doing things for charity, then that's when it changes. That's when my dad started to understand, the good that Twitch can do as a whole as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
Speaking
really
of
cool.
parents, that's actually my favorite thing to do is growing up I was always told, stop playing video games. It'll never let you do anything in life.
Yeah.
Video games are useless. You're wasting your life away. And I like walking up to my mom and be like, so do you remember when you told me video games were useless and wouldn't amount to anything in my life? Do you remember that?
The delivery of that line was perfect.
Yeah.
So do you remember when? Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, great.
That's great. So you said your dad was a gamer.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
software. It was so he got you into gaming completely. Really, was he
Oh,
like your?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, my father did too. So when he doesn't understand this, I just say, hey, "You did this to me. This is all your fault." In fact, really the whole inspiration for the theme that we have is really my father. He studied meteorology before switching to accounting.
Super
So
cool.
he doesn't get any of this, but I meant to tell you, my dad actually sat in this very chair and played SnowRunner. I gave him the
No.
wheel. Yes, gave him the wheel, and my mom was sitting right here. right next to me, and I filmed it. I'll have to send you
Uh-huh.
the video. It's hilarious.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he says, "Is this on PlayStation or something?" I said, "No, this is PC." And his mind it exploded all over the room because the concept of a computer being this good playing something like that, he was great at it. He
Mm.
didn't flip it. He didn't get stuck. He just picked it up. Granted, he almost broke my shifter because he thought it was a real car. So I was just slamming it
Oh
back and forth.
God.
Yeah, but he did very well. You would be very impressed.
I'm sure I would be.
Give,
Holy moly.
give it enough time, he'll be better than the two of us, probably.
Probably. I don't
Yeah,
doubt that.
that was really great. So, I want to make sure if anybody doesn't know who we're talking to, we're talking with Ultrasaurus, and I want to make sure that please go give her a follow. Her social media accounts have been kind of popping up under her camera, so make sure to check them out. And how often do you usually stream, and when do you stream?
Uh, yeah, about 3 days a week. Normally it's on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. PST. But my life is a whirlwind of things that just love to come up. So we try to stick to that schedule, but sometimes we shift things around. So if you guys are interested in knowing exactly when we stream, hopping into the Discord is probably the best thing to do because that's when I kind of announce what's going on. But yeah, we do try to stick to Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Got it. Those are good times. And the current game that you're playing is DCS.
DCS is a once a week thing, so I don't want to burn myself out. That game is super fun, but I just want to make sure that like I'm gonna continue to enjoy it. And I'm like, you know what? If I feel like I go too hard into DCS, I'm gonna not be able to. I don't think I could do that. So yeah, we've been primarily playing DCS on Tuesdays, and then just swapping out ATS, SnowRunner, gas station sim throughout the other days, farm sim as well.
Okay, there you go. A lot of Sims. I feel like that's
A lot of
relatable.
sims.
Sims are good.
Mhm.
So of course, I never really liked The Sims. I couldn't get into that game. I that by that reaction, do you like The Sims?
I absolutely love The Sims. Them's fighting words, Thunder.
Well, I'm risky. It's not about like I like the house building. I like the designing aspects. Um, I don't know why I just couldn't get into it. Obviously, I just wanted to start a fight between Ultra and I to end the
It's
show.
clearly. Um, yeah, no, I don't know. I've always loved The Sims. I can't actually even specifically point out what I love about The Sims, but like I've had almost every single I've owned every single Sims in the series since it first started.
Okay.
I even remember do you remember that Sims Online was a thing?
Yes, I do, and I stayed away from it on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think I was allowed to go on it. But yeah, no, I quite enjoy the series. Not something I would particularly stream though.
Gotcha. I just like the house building and those kind of games.
House building is fun for sure.
That's a lot of fun. Well, I don't know why my mind keeps going back to where's Pippa? And is Pippa gonna jump up and start biting
She
things
is no,
again?
no. You need to stop.
Go
Stop.
on.
You're jinxing it. She is asleep over there, nicely, not causing trouble, not causing a muck. She's being very quiet and sleeping, and it's like the best time ever when she's sleeping because we don't have to deal with the constant shenanigans that pursue when she is awake.
Are we talking about Twitch chat or Pippa? Because I feel like those two concepts are
Yes.
relatable. Yes.
Yes.
It's like it's so quiet and calm, and she's sleeping, and then, yeah, that's great. And then there's the
Yeah.
big troublemakers in chat. That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome. Do you have anything exciting coming up for your stream or anything in
Uh,
particular
Not particularly, no. It's just
besides
kind of
Epic
business
Gamecast?
as usual. I think eventually I do want to hop into iRacing.
Okay, that I'd
Are
like
you
to see.
familiar with that?
I am familiar with it. I haven't played it, but we're playing Gran Turismo 7 a lot, and I have some friends that
Yeah.
do play it. iRacing.
So probably just that, and then I also do a lot of horseback riding. I just got into it again this week. I was on a break because I can't afford to horseback ride all year round. But yeah, I think maybe on Sundays too, we'll do some previews of some of my horseback riding lessons if anyone is interested in watching me getting thrown off of a horse.
I am once again interested in that. I had no idea that you rode horses. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's something I'm super passionate about. I've been riding for about 10 years. At my peak, I used to compete and I would win champion and first place ribbons, and it's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, here in North America, horseback riding isn't really considered a sport. It's considered a hobby, and it's way too expensive. So unless you're a very fortunate individual, it's a very, very hard to afford sport.
Sure. So we have an
Yeah.
equestrian professional here as well. I'm impressed. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky for a while, and
Hmm.
I was 10, 15 minutes away from Churchill Downs. So I
Oh, wow.
saw, I mean, it's easily probably one of the greatest tracks on the planet. And we would
Mhm.
go there for night races and with friends and just kind of hang out. It's just a
Oh, that's
great,
awesome.
affordable way to spend an evening. Horses mesmerize me. I think they're beautiful creatures, and I've been riding one time, and I was in a lot
Uh-huh.
of pain when I was done on my first ride for reasons that do not need to be explained. But
Mhm.
it was a good time, and I definitely would like to do it again.
Yeah, no, it's funny, the more you get to know horses though, like working with them personally, you go from, "Wow, they're such beautiful, graceful creatures," to, "Yeah, they're pretty, but they literally get scared off of their own farts and bolt and freak out and run off." So,
They'll
like,
kick you in the
I'm not
face.
sure I would quite call them graceful. Uh, God, they're just like idiots with a lot of body bulk and speed, and it is just like kind of scary sometimes that you're riding this thing that has the brain the size of a walnut, that sees that, oh my god, the trash can wasn't there yesterday, it's 2 feet to the right, we can't walk down this road today. um yeah, so that's kind of horses in a nutshell.
That's probably the greatest summary of a horse I've ever heard in my life. That's great. That should be on a
Yeah.
bulletin board for advertisements. That's really funny.
Oh god.
I'll keep that in mind the next time I go horseback riding.
Yeah.
Just put
Yeah.
that entire thing right on a t-shirt. That's it. New Ultrasaurus merch. The explanation of how horseback riding actually works.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
pretty cool. So, in a nutshell, Ultrasaurus is a sim trucker and pilot extraordinaire, is a dinosaur expert, a equestrian professional, and has quite a mad skill of throwing bananas at other monkeys.
Yes.
I have that about right.
Absolutely.
Got it. You're fantastic. You
Oh,
really
you're
are.
sweet.
You're I just you're so easy to talk to.
That makes me really happy to hear. I still remember the first time I came into your chat. Like, so firstly, there's me who's been streaming SnowRunner for a while. So when I see someone new in the category, I'm like, ooh, who's streaming SnowRunner? But then I see like you have like the wheel, you have like a pretty gosh darn spanking good stream setup, and I'm like, huh, that's intriguing. And I hung out with you, and you mentioned that you liked dinosaurs, and you were playing Zelda music, and I love Zelda. And then you mentioned that you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch Step Brothers on Discord for a community movie night, and I'm like, did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Do you want to go do karate in the basement?
Yeah. As long as I get to kick a watermelon and a bag of chips.
Oh god,
I watched that again like 2 weeks ago.
I gotta watch it again. I swear it's a movie that minimum I need to watch once a year, but like, I think to be in good health, twice a year is good.
Please go follow Ultrasaurus. You will not regret it. She's been an absolute wonderful new friend that I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the last couple months. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you, Fender, for having me on here.
Of course.